Just in case you didn't know.
Do you mind being called a big deal?
No, just I don't know. You guys are a big deal too. I don't know.
Well, you're the guest. I mean, they know us, so. Yeah.
So for those of you guys that don't know, this is Fit Bryce Adams. I've got her OnlyFans up when you enter the room. So if you're curious about her OnlyFans, you can check her out there. She's OnlyFans famous.
Wow, thank you.
That's your claim to fame, right? Besides the midget thing.
Besides the midget thing and the vote for
Or the little person thing, sorry.
Is there anything else we should know? Any other crazy ones?
Yeah, are we just going to jump right into that kind of stuff, babe?
I'm interested.
There's a lot, yeah. We can get there.
Yeah, let's start with the basics.
No. I'm just kidding. But anyway, we have her partner here, Jay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's here.
I'm hiding somewhere.
Yeah.
There's fingertips.
He's really tall for reference.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
6'6".
Dang.
That is tall.
That's really tall. Do you come from a tall family of people?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's no one, even the girls, there's really no one under like 5'8".
Oh no. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how tall my sister is, but I only got a couple extra inches.
Yeah. And her husband's like
he's
super tall.
Yeah.
That's funny. It makes logistics when you're doing positions very different. So I'm like adjusted to his height. So when I get with anybody who's like a lot smaller, like my height, I'm like, this is so weird. I'm like, I have to like totally readjust, or I set like doggy like super high.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, oh, I gotta get like way lower.
It's totally true. Yeah.
So Bryce, how long have you been doing OnlyFans stuff and sexual kind of work?
2 years.
2 years. Did you start out slow or do you just jump right in?
We started slow. For like the first 3 months, we're kind of like feeling it out, just testing it, wanted to see what it was like.
Just doing couple stuff or?
Yeah, and like at first I didn't even show my face. It was like literally shoulder
Okay.
down.
Okay, got it.
So you were completely
No face.
faceless back then?
Completely faceless, yeah. Because I wasn't sure,
where it was going to go.
Yeah, where it was going to go, what I wanted to do, what I wanted to explore, how comfortable I was going to be. Was it going to be like a fun side thing? Because that's really kind of what it started with, was like a little bit out of boredom and stuff. And then we kind of just took a little bit of a look at it. And then from our prior business, we kind of looked at it and we're like, oh, this seems like an interesting opportunity. Like we could really do this well. And like, oh, this sounds fun. Like we could build something here.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we took a couple months figuring that out, had some discussions about, are we okay with being out there? Are we okay with doing, things so publicly, stuff like that. And just kind of took it from there. We went hardcore for 6 months. And then we had the most liked page in like 9 months. So that
It was
wild.
wild.
Yeah.
No
crazy.
viral TikToks, no
None.
like.
Zero social media presence. Still barely have one. Working on that right
I
now.
could relate to that.
But yeah, all homegrown. So
It's fantastic.
awesome.
How'd you hear about like this kind of sex work? Was it through a friend or?
yeah, one of Jay's childhood friends, jokingly came over. Was that like November, the year prior? And he was like, oh, you should totally make one. I was like, yeah.
He was trying to get you to do it?
Yeah.
He wanted to see you naked.
Oh, he already had, so that's okay. We'd already done things.
I was
Okay.
gonna ask
So you guys are
had done anything like
You guys
that
are freaky
before.
before
Yeah.
all this. Oh.
Yeah, we were like pretty open-minded already. So like it started because I like was on like a three-way app. So like that's how I got like my first couple of fans was from a three-way app actually. So, but yeah, so he mentioned it and I was like, yeah, I'll make one when you make one. What was the tagline we came up with?
It's like boots and boxers.
Boots and boxers. That's what we
That's
wanted to call him. He barely has one, but yeah. So that's actually where we got the idea from, and then it was just literally like a Sunday night.
You
Try this
started a
out.
bunch of things at once. You started the three-way app, the OnlyFans, and
Yes.
maybe one other thing all at
Yeah, I
once.
can't even remember what the other thing was.
Something like that.
Yeah, just like a little honeypot of.
So Jill had never done anything like
Nothing.
anything group related when
Yeah.
we started.
I was just in like long-term relationships with people.
Mm-hmm.
It's serial monogamy is what we call it.
All
You
of
just
my
jump from one to the
like,
next.
First time squirting, first time
Nice.
doing a threesome, like first everything has really been on cam they've like seen it
Oh,
all.
I love that.
So
No, that's fantastic.
first time doing anal, like all of that.
Oh wow, that was
Doing
a tough
anal
one.
live,
Whew.
not
It's
recommended.
tough. I don't, yeah,
I
it's
haven't. We
tough.
haven't done that one live yet. People are asking. Oh,
Do you do butt stuff, Bryce?
Oh, I do. It was a big learning curve, but I actually had a
Yes.
fan who was like, he was in porn for like 20 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
He actually gave me like all of his like secrets and training. And
Uh-huh.
I
Put her
went,
through a whole regimen.
he literally did.
Yeah.
You need it
The
to do
diet,
anal.
the enema.
Changing.
No, mostly just like control. Like
Most
mostly.
muscle control and like rhythm, and, like
Breathing.
warming up.
You got to relax,
Yeah.
right? I've never really done butt stuff before. I mean, when
We
I
put
when
it
I
for
discovered you
charity.
could have prostate orgasm, like I definitely went and check that out on my own. Which is like pretty awesome. If you haven't tried it, like you should definitely give
We
it a shot.
did do like plugs together for like a
We
show
did.
or
So
a charity
there's
show.
there's a toy called the Hush, and you put it in your butt, and it responds to people's tips. And
So
we
they tip,
Oh,
it
wow.
vibrates.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But getting that thing in was like, because Jill does it.
Yeah.
Jill did it, and I was like, my butt's bigger. I can totally do this. And it was not. Like, logistically, it just did not
you
work
also
that way.
won't bend over. That's like
He
your
will
thing.
bend
He
over.
didn't want to bend. He was like trying to put it in standing up. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh.
Like you got to get in that.
You're gonna
Yeah.
put me on
beta
blast like
position.
that.
He's like, I'm not going.
He's such not a beta, so it's just.
I like. how
I'm
the
not like an
bases-
alpha dude
You're
either. I
not,
just
but-
there's something in my head that's just like, this feels weird. It happens on my back too. Like whenever I get on my
Yeah,
back,
yeah,
I'm
he
like,
doesn't like
this
that.
is weird.
And that's like my favorite sex position is like riding on top with him on his back.
Yeah,
What is your favorite sex position?
I like prone bone the best. That was
that's a good one.
Yeah, I've introduced a lot of people to prone bone. I'm like,
Yeah.
have you done this? No, let's try.
It's got a couple names. Lazy Doggy's one for it too.
Okay.
Flat iron?
Yeah. I don't know.
I've heard flat iron.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I've never heard flat iron.
Yeah.
Every sex position, like plants, it has like 5 names.
Or like people think it's different than it is. Like people will be like, "Oh, reverse cowgirl." We were
Yeah.
like talking about that the other day. Like, what did people think that was?
Yeah.
Because people ask for it all the time. They're like, "Reverse cowgirl." And we're like,
Some
"Wait."
people on top facing forward is what some people thought
Mhm.
reverse cowgirl was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'm still learning positions. I'm just like, I love this. This was great. But I love that you captured so many of your first because that's like
Yeah.
a huge thing. It's so cool to like capture that authentic moment. I try and do that a lot, hence the midget and some of these other things.
That's crazy.
But a lot of like the people that I've collabed with, it's like their first time. So like I did
That's cool.
I took a couple of my interns anal virginity. So like that was their first one.
You get to live vicariously through their butt virginity. Fantastic. If you can't do it yourself, outsource it.
Yes, Jay is there too. Happy man vibe.
So Bryce, do you have any sex toys? I know the answer is going to be yes, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a whole bag.
So
in my bathroom.
it's always fascinating just to hear how people organize their like plethora of sex toys in this industry. Like we have a closet. It's a little embarrassing,
Oh no, it's awesome.
but you have a bag of dicks then.
I have a bag of many dicks and other things.
All right.
Ironically, I don't use a lot of toys, so it's kind of like I had a pussy pump in there for over a year, and I actually used it. We did this like giant Christmas live show, and we
Cool.
did like this sexual white elephant gift exchange with like 6 of the girlfriends.
That's
and I
cool.
was like, perfect. I'm like, I could put this into the pot because I haven't used it. But yeah, no, definitely different dildos, and I like a lot of glass toys.
Okay.
Those are epic. For some
Glass
reason.
toys.
Yeah.
Do you like
glass
them
dildos.
for like the visual and aesthetic or the feeling?
Mostly the feeling, and then a couple of just like the way it's shaped, the curves for me, like squirting wise. I like
Oh.
love that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I seem to vibe a lot better with that.
Squirting's one of
So
my fetishes.
dildos you can make yourself squirt with a dildo?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a skill.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. For me, it has to be penetration or
life
like
skill.
vibrator.
Oh, okay.
Like a
Interesting.
lot of pressure.
That's
Do you prefer vibration or penetration if you like want to come?
penetration? Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, she's a unicorn.
Yeah.
Most people prefer vibration.
Clitoral
Yeah.
stem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like both, but if I had to pick
She's
one, I'd
special,
rather do
Jay.
that. I don't know. But,
Not everyone can come from or like
Yeah.
haven't figured that out yet or whatever.
I also think that sex toys have jaded people. Like you just have the Hitachi and you just kind of
oh, yeah.
and you're done. You know.
I mean, that's great though.
yeah, I know
Like,
that's
what
the
about all
problem.
like the single people out there, or like maybe guys that aren't able to like have performance issues or whatever, like in the bedroom?
No, yeah, I'm not.
know?
You know, I have a vendetta against vibrators. They're taking our jobs. You know, not to sound like an angry redneck trucker or anything, but like
Angry red.
they're taking our jobs.
Oh, that's interesting. I never put it that way. I've never used a Hitachi. I don't think.
Really?
Yeah.
We're gonna give you one today, and then you'll be a vibration person. Sorry, Jay.
Well, not the Hitachi, but it's the Donnie.
It's the same thing. It's like a Hitachi style.
It is.
It's like
It is. It's
Yeah.
my favorite vibrator.
Okay.
And
her favorite toy in general, right?
Yeah.
She's really emphatically.
Yeah.
Well, because they tip and it vibrates, and I'm definitely like an exhibitionist. Like I like knowing that there's a bunch of people watching, and I get like, I'm not usually like a super freaky person, but like once the camera's on, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
all right, let's do
Hello.
this.
She's never a freaky person. The camera turns on. She gets really horny. People are
It's
watching.
true.
It's like most men are more voyeuristic, and most women are more exhibitionist
Yeah,
leaning.
traditionally, but
All right, we have to ask Bryce more questions.
yeah. Let's ask.
All right.
Bryce, can you tell us about you losing your virginity?
Okay, it was horrible.
As most
Like most
are, you know,
people.
like you don't have to go into like detail if you don't want
Yeah.
to, but
The quick story was I was with a guy before him and just did it like out of obligation.
Yeah.
did he like guilt trip you into it?
No, it's just like it was like it's a 1 year anniversary. Like we'll do
Mm.
that. And then like
So it was
on-
planned?
It was planned. It was on the
Okay.
beach. Totally not
the
prepared.
beach, not a good idea.
Yeah, no.
It sounds good,
No
but
finish.
it's
It was
not.
just like painful. It was just terrible.
Yeah.
I was like, this
Yeah.
is just awful. And like honestly, I like from then thought like sex was like terrible. So I was like, why would anybody do this? So like totally was like, don't care. Let's not do that.
It's so funny you said that because when I got my first blowjob, I was like so disappointed. I was like beside myself because like the person I was with just put it in their mouth and just like literally just sucked on it because we were like young. We didn't know what we were doing. And I was just like,
Oh.
that's what everyone's talking about. It's not good. It
Warped
feels
your
better with my
view.
hand.
How old were you when you lost your virginity?
I was 16.
Okay, that's like
Yeah.
normal age. I feel like
Yeah.
Yeah, that's normal. I was like very close to being 16.
I was 15. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like 2 months away from
Also
being 16.
terrible.
Also terrible.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it was awful. Mine is like so embarrassing.
Ni-
That's good.
It was with Bryce.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's great. That's so cute.
1 for 4.
How,
Table.
Yeah,
how
well-
long have you guys been together?
It'll be 13 years in like 4 or 5 days.
That's so sweet. I would say wholesome, but I've heard stories.
Oh.
So
Still be
It
wholesome.
can be both at the same time.
yeah,
Yeah.
it can be.
You can't have both.
It can be both.
Chris, you're such a hater, dude.
Uh-oh.
Hater Chris.
It's okay. I'm used to him. He's always hating on me.
I'm 29, for anybody asking.
So people in the audience can always ask questions too.
Yeah, sorry guys. I don't know if we've been the best at checking the chat because we're just like faced a different way
Yeah.
Tell us
from
about
the.
our interns.
Oh.
Yeah, tell us about your interns.
Okay, so we have interns, I guess. They're our friends. Some of them are 18, 19, or 20 at this point. They've been around a couple years at this point. They
Cool.
help out all the time with anything. You can send them for errands.
Is there a division of labor? Like, do certain people do certain things?
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
like we had two. We had a girl one too. She went just back to school. She was also, but we have one main intern, Tyler, that everybody loves, and he's really good. And he just does like all sorts of stuff around the
That's
gym and
great.
stuff. It's just like super helpful. And then he's very entertaining. So he's great to have around, and he's just always saying something like goofy as hell.
Love that.
So, and people know him because I've like totally just randomly caught him by surprise. We actually caught the first time I ever came onto him. I was like recording the whole thing.
Oh
So we had,
God!
like, the whole authentic, like his real reaction of like he'd be like, my heart's racing. I don't know what to do. Like,
Did you know each other for a while before that happened?
we had met him 6 months before he kind of started like hanging
Yeah,
around.
yeah,
He was friends with our other friend that we had had for like a year plus. So like we all like circled in like the same sort of groups. It's really funny. Like, all of our friends are like, that's how we all kind of met. It's just a really tight knit group, and it just kind of keeps expanding. But
That's awesome.
so, it's a lot
That
of
means you're
fun.
doing something right.
Yeah.
Is that thing that Lucky Dog posted, OnlyFans with a Z?
Oh, he's
Yeah,
doing that
so
just
the
in case.
platform doesn't like nasty gram us.
Just in case.
Nice. Thank you.
You guys, what kind of other questions can we ask Bryce? Bryce, how tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
5'6".
I weighed 120.2 this morning.
Oh wow.
Weigh in every day.
All right. I'm always afraid to ask women how much they weigh, so I was just gonna like not ask.
no.
But okay.
I don't know.
I mean, it just depends on the person too. Like you probably have a good amount of like muscle on your body.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
do. That's true.
So like your weight, a lot of that's probably like muscle because you're
Mm.
quite petite.
Bryce is
yeah.
pretty strong. I mean, that's
I am.
something unique.
Yeah.
What are some of your lifts?
So I have almost a 300-pound deadlift, which is
Oh wow, that's great.
I like that lift a lot. So I spend a lot of time like working on that one. And if you like something, you're like,
It's
oh,
where you
this-
get the video game numbers on the deadlift too, though. You get the highest numbers on that.
Exactly. My bench is not that impressive, like 117 or something.
Is all right.
My hip thrust is like 4. I just did 410 on New Year's Day.
Fantastic.
So that's fun. Yeah. And I think I can get a lot better at that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
I am not strong. And
You guys, they have-
fitness
I was gonna say,
background.
yeah.
They have the craziest
Yeah.
gym. It's like massive.
Oh yeah, the gym is yeah. You
That
guys
was
have
so
to
cool.
Come use the gym.
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. It's like 2,500 square feet for anybody who hasn't
that's
seen
wild.
Amazing.
Our
yeah.
gym is like how many square feet, babe?
It's small.
100.
It's small.
We've got like a squat rack, bench,
Stair stepper.
stair stepper,
Okay.
treadmill, stationary bike, and then free weights.
it. But
and-
do you use it?
Oh yeah.
Well, then that's the important part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's all that
Yeah.
matters.
That's kind of the
mean,
joke where if you really
it's-
want to work out bad enough, all you really need is like free weights.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, it looked badass.
That's years of accumulation and small replacements and optimizing. And we
Mhm.
figured, you know, if we're gonna commit to it, like let's really invest
Do
in
it
it
big.
and like love it.
Yeah.
And now it's like 150 feet from our house, so it's
That's
like you
great.
really can't
No
say no.
excuses.
It's right there. so, so
Ensign Pulver, he probably is subscribed to your OnlyFans. He recommended you like a year ago to me
Yeah.
and was like, I
cool.
don't know if you work with us. And he's been following you for quite a while.
Oh,
And
yay.
he's been our mod for years, long time.
Oh, that's
Long time
cool.
ago.
Well, hello. Small world. Here we are. Whoops, sorry. Jack, don't kill me.
So have you always been into sports and like fitness like your whole life?
Yeah. Did you play any sports when you were younger?
I played tennis and I surfed a
Oh.
lot.
Oh, okay.
We still have our boards, but we haven't touched them in years.
I never got into surfing. I did ocean kayaking and like longboarding,
Oh,
like
that's intense,
skating.
though. Yeah.
I only really got into skating when I was in Tallahassee because there's like actually hills
yeah,
there.
you can
so.
actually get into that.
Yeah.
Our part of Florida is pretty
Flat.
Mm.
so.
Landfills are the only hills
Oh,
around.
gosh.
That's it.
It's like clothespin and go.
Yeah. But I'm too scared to get on the skateboard now because I feel like
Mm.
if I fall nowadays, it's just, I'm never going to bounce back.
I got a plate and 2 screws in my ankle holding it together.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're tall enough. Don't
Yeah.
bother.
Exactly.
But to answer your question about the fitness thing, no. We started that 2016, 2017, something like that.
Really hard there.
So we had kind of gotten our previous business on like autopilot, and so we kind of like stepped away from that, and we were kind of bored trying to figure out the next thing that we wanted to do, and that was kind of hard. So we dabbled with different projects, but then he realized, he's like, you know what, I want to actually like look fit and be strong. So he did that. I was a little skinny fat, so he did a bunch of research. He lost a bunch of weight, got in a shape, and I was like, well, we can do this together. So they kind of just slowly crept from there.
That's great.
So we've gone more hardcore the last like 3-ish years. It's like dedication. So but we track everything: food, steps,
Oh, wow.
weights, like rep set, everything,
Wow.
everything. So, but yeah, you don't have to go that hardcore. We just
Programming a lot ahead of time.
we like to do that.
That's cool.
I mean, it works, right? I mean, it must because
Just like anything else, you
Yeah.
want to make a plan, set some goals,
Uh-huh.
things that make sense towards those goals.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Consistency.
I'm a bad goal setter. You know, like Jill's like, I want to make this much money this year. And she's like, how much, what do you think's a good goal? And I'm just like, world domination? I don't know. You know, that's kind of
Go all the way or none.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say him and I are really like opposites. Are you guys have like similar personality types, or how do you work together as a couple?
Interesting. I feel like you should answer this.
We work pretty decent. We are aligned in a lot of ways, but then there's definitely a few things where we are opposites, and it helps kind of fill each other's gaps. So a little bit of both, I think. Yeah.
That's the joke I always make is like her and I combined are like one well-rounded human.
Yeah. Yeah. That feels about right.
Yeah.
I'm good with that for us. We'll do that description.
There we go. Yeah, that's fair.
Bryce, do you have any like kinks or things that like super turn you on, or are you just kind of go with the flow kind of person sexually?
I feel okay. I'm gonna self-define, but I feel like my fact checker will have to chime in. I feel pretty good with the flow. I usually can find something to rally around, but I usually have like I like being watched, so that's fun. That's fun for me. I like having him involved or in some sort of way, or watching me, or like coming back and sharing that with him. For me, that's very fun and hot. Like I like that a lot. I do like having those first time interactions. That's always a great thing for me. Sorry. Trying to think what else. I don't know.
Would you rather give or receive when it comes to oral?
That's a good question. I haven't thought about that one. Hold on.
The fact that she's having to think is a good sign,
Yeah,
though.
that's interesting.
She's really like to answer that question too. She's definitely a few things that she likes a little bit more than other things, like she mentioned. But she really does everything. She just kind of likes it all on a similar level. And it's
You
all,
just like sex, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Like I just girl, sure, let's do it. And then so she's not gay at all. But she really enjoys being with girls because it's sex stuff. Like
Yeah,
she just
yeah.
loves
Okay.
sex. She just loves sex stuff.
Yeah.
Like Jill kind of defines her sexuality similarly. When people ask her if she's bi, she's like, "Well, I'd never date another girl, so I don't feel like I'm bi, but I love like hooking up with girls."
It's tough because I like, like hot feminine girls, but I feel like I would need a more like masculine women to like if I were to date one, because I would want to feel like I still had that relationship. So definitely prefer being with a man in that sense and like penetration. But I love kissing women probably more than I like kissing guys. Yeah. I just
Foxo,
like women are soft and have boobs and
I do love boobs. I've always been an adamant boob girl. I'm like, look at those. I'm like, those are great, like all the time.
I'm not choosy. People are always like boobs or butt, I'm like, either.
yeah.
Like, I'm just thankful I'm seeing them. Foxo, she answered that. She said prone bone / lazy doggy / what'd you call it, babe?
Flat iron?
Flat iron. I've never heard that.
Will someone confirm that? Flat iron for lazy doggy?
If you Google flat iron, you're just going to get a bunch of pictures of a flat iron.
It's a hair product. What about you, Jill? Give or receive?
Oh, I definitely give.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Any day. I would
Adamant.
rather give than receive. Oral on both guys and girls. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like that's not that common. But you guys, have you asked
I
that
used to be
question
more
before?
more of a giver, but because of adult work, I think I've turned into a receiver.
Totally.
It's kind of nice to just be like,
Okay.
and then hold the camera and then just like make all my dumb faces that no one can see. Kinda nice.
I mean, I like giving, I like sucking dick a lot. And then, as far as women go, I like them to feel comfortable. And I'm used to, not all the time, but a lot of people on our show have, never done a threesome before or, don't have a lot of girl experience. And I love, being that person that's okay, I'm going to take the reins and you get to relax and I'll do that for you. And I feel like that's just, a role I'm, become used to over time.
Bryce, what's one of the freakier things you've done that pops to mind? I heard 2 of them, and if you want to return to them,
Oh, well, I don't know if that would be the freakier ones. I don't know.
oh my God.
I don't have many boundaries, so
Really?
I'm really open-minded. You kind of present me with an opportunity, all right,
No
that sounds
boundaries.
cool. Let's try that out. The pizza guy was the real deal. It was the real pizza guy.
Wow.
Three separate Tinder fucks in the same day.
Oh, yeah.
while on vacation in
Wow.
Costa Rica.
That's true too.
Do you ever get them
Wow.
showing up please, can we do this again?
I don't know. I guess a couple, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the boat thing, the midget. I've done a couple train videos. I like trains. That was one of my longtime fantasies. We had talked about that actually when I was the ET, and I was like, I kind of want to do a train. But the embarrassing admittance. But so yeah,
Oh,
definitely
that's
done
fine.
some now.
Yeah.
It's good to know what you like or what you want.
Yeah, I was not good at explaining that or saying that at all until like literally like the last 2 years. I was definitely a lot more like closed-minded.
So have you done like DP and like double vaginal?
I've done DP.
Oh.
Double. We need to redo the DP.
We did DVP for like 38 seconds one time.
Yeah, it was tough. Logistics on that one is.
It is, and keeping your dick hard when it's is kind of if that's probably what went wrong there.
And you got sizing issues. You got to get someone. I'm sure like
Yeah.
You got to get someone who's small and one ear.
Yeah, because it won't fit.
Combination there.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
Do you like getting DP'd?
It's been a while, but I guess I've done stuff with like a plug or a finger, and like you fucked me, and that was fun. I like that, like a little extra stimulation. So, and I've been wanting to try it again because it's been such a long time. Like literally, the only DP video we have is, man, it's like from like the first 4 months of our page.
Wow,
And
you really jumped in.
very amateur style. Like
Yeah.
the camera is probably further away than that, and
All
you're just
right.
like, what's happening over there? You know, are you sure?
Probably the craziest story would be the cop hookup. I don't know if they're ready for that one.
The cop?
Was it a real police officer?
Yeah. Okay.
Was he on? Was it like a? Did you meet him on duty and like you seduced
Does he
him
show
or?
his face? What is it?
Okay,
At
so
work.
a lot of the times when I like hook up with people, I have like a whole vetting process, all that.
Uh-huh.
But like I will usually hook up with them and then kind of like, you know, build a rapport and then kind of be like, here, I have an OnlyFans. Would you be interested in, you know, making something and, you know, sharing it? And obviously they get a copy of it and all that fun stuff. But so like this was like in that first vetting process. So I found him on Tinder. It was just an audio thing. So I found him on Tinder. It was like 2 a.m. or 2:30 a.m. And he was on duty. And I was like, okay, well.
He was on duty?
He was on duty. I'm like,
My taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, they finally went to something good.
That is wild.
and we met up. And then he had, like, on the audio, like, he's like, oh, I have to go do a call. I'm like, hey, no problem. I'll wait here, you know? So literally goes to a call, comes back. So we're there on the side of the road, backseat of the truck. Oh, fuck, it might have been.
Oh my
It might have been
god.
these shorts. If it's not these, it's a different pair. But anyway, and literally back seat door open, right on the side of the highway. Recorded it, went home. I didn't know, but he had set up his phone at the time, and I was like explaining. I'm like listen, and like telling him the whole story. He's like, by the way, I've been recording you.
Look, you finished right here.
Yeah.
You can still see it. I'm like, good for you. Like, where's mine?
Exactly.
Crazy.
So we actually sold the story part and then our side on the page and shared it because we didn't obviously we have to make sure everybody has consent and all that stuff. But that's probably the wildest thing and the craziest thing is like actual
Side of the road,
That is
shorts around her
wild.
ankles.
Yeah.
Just bent over the back seat.
Fucking a cop.
Yeah.
fucking cop. Yeah.
You're brave.
His-
You know that? I respect that.
Oh, thank you.
I get, you know.
Brave
I
or
get,
crazy, one of them.
both of
It could be
little bit of
both.
both.
Multitasking. Yeah. Excellent.
You can be both.
What's his body cam on? I like it.
Oh shit.
For his sake, I would say.
Yeah. He left all of it on, like gun, strapped up, everything. So I was like, you know, you're
That's
on
kinda
duty.
hot.
Like, hey, if you need to go, you need to go. But
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
try and take care of this quickly.
Can you tell us about the little person hookup?
Yeah.
Can you?
Okay.
So how'd you get the idea to begin with? Were you just like looking on your fuck it list and you're like, oh well,
No. Okay. So the intern, Tyler, that I mentioned,
fucking
he
Tyler.
was partying with a friend, met him, so they became fast friends. So then he came back to the gym the one day and he's like, I have something for you. And I was like, what do you mean? So I think he
man.
floated that to us a couple times, and it was like trying to just work out the logistics, you know, getting him vetted and process tested. And then he came down and we all hung out. And we're like, oh, he's cool. Okay, cool. Like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, you're good? Like, on cameras and stuff? I'm like, cameras are a big deal. People think
They
it's
are.
like not like,
Yeah.
like, oh, I've got this.
Lights, it's
Yeah, it is. It's a little anxiety inducing. Yeah.
So that was so it was like genuinely our first time like hanging out, our first interaction. My intern filmed the whole thing. So instead of having like all these cameras and everything, we're like, hey, look, we'll just let him pop around, kind of get the different angles. And I think it turned out good.
So did the
yeah, tell 'em about the
did it match the proportion? Was everything proportion?
That's what you really wanted to know. You're like,
I'm sorry.
no, I want to know what the
I was
proportions.
beating around the bush about it, but
It fit.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
fit
wasn't
his
like-
stature.
Fit his stature, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it was reasonably appropriate.
Okay.
So it was good. Yeah. He did bring applesauce. Okay, so he brought applesauce, and we're like, why? Yeah, and it was because he was gonna take like a blue chew, but I guess instead of taking it, he had to put it in the applesauce to eat it. But he crushed it up, so he's sitting in the kitchen.
He
on my island with
parachuted the
spoon,
blue chew.
crushing a blue chew, shoving it in the applesauce, and I'm like sitting there going like, is this real life right now? And then
Don't
he
people do
proceeded
that
to
with
eat-
like codeine or something? They want to get
Bro,
fucked
I'm
up.
not trying to be that guy, but I thought like children and like dogs like took
Yeah.
pills with cream cheese and stuff. Like
And
what-
peanut
what-
butter,
what
yeah.
are we
You
doing
gotta
here?
trick them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, come on, man, don't do this to us.
So yeah, so that was the prelude to the video. It was a good time.
That's kind of cute though.
Yeah.
He
It-
cared.
it is
He
cute.
was trying.
He was committed.
Yeah,
He's like,
he's trying.
I'm gonna make this happen. What about you guys? What's like the wildest thing?
The wildest thing, we're gonna be vanilla in comparison. I hate to follow your story.
Yeah, right.
Oh no.
Probably our swap, like just doing a swap with another
And
couple.
I was gonna say the one time when we were at Expos and we were filming at the top, and then we had like an audience.
Oh yeah, so we rented an Airbnb that had like the top floor was like just a balcony, and we were doing a live stream with other live streamers with Jeff and Lacey. This was in 2017.
Oh, cool.
And we were just having sex next to each other, and some people like popped over the wall and were like, "Holy shit!"
Oh, no
and like
way.
we were in the middle of the live stream, so we like couldn't stop.
Yeah, we had to keep going.
We had to give the people what they paid for, so
Yeah.
we just did
we
it
had a live
with an
audience.
audience, and then I
Wow.
let one of the ladies
Oh,
touch
she
my
was really
dick.
excited and wanted to touch him.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I let her
So-
touch my dick on camera.
Oh.
So
It was
That's pretty
funny
cool.
because there was guys watching with the girls, and it's just the girls that ended up sting.
yeah, well, the guys
yeah,
didn't
that was
stick around for some.
interesting.
Usually,
That
I
is
would have thought it'd be the other way around,
For
but
sure.
for some reason, all the ladies stuck around.
Oh, that sounds like an interesting Airbnb house.
Yeah. But like, that first moment where like people popped their heads over the wall and were like, "Oh hell no!"
Yeah.
And my dick was just like, "Brr."
Oh yeah. That's an epic distraction.
So anxious. It does. I always joke and say there's two kinds of guys. There's like guys that like need to be fluffed if they're having a hard time, and they're like, "Hey, help me out, suck my dick." Or there's guys that like go and hide in the corner, and they're like, "1 second, I'll be right." I'm
Yeah.
the second one. I just kind of I like yeah.
The hard reset.
Yeah. I figure like that's one of my only jobs I have when we shoot is just to like have a hard dick. So I like, have to go take care of that.
We appreciate that.
That's true, Fox. But I felt like bad for her.
Yeah, we had someone do a live stream with us, and before someone live streams with us, we never ask them if their partner's okay with it. We're never like, "Do you have a partner? Are they okay with this?"
yeah.
That's just never a question. I would just kind of assume
Yeah.
that, but her partner didn't know she was doing this and saw her on ChatterBait with us and was like
And
calling,
had like in the
calling.
description of the show like what she was going to be doing.
Yeah, and when she
So,
like answered the phone to be like, "No, I'm not," he was like, "Dude, I'm looking at it." And so it was like it was a fucking disaster.
We've had that happen more than once.
It's happened
but that
twice.
Was like
Yeah. Yeah, the first time it ever happened, she didn't hear her phone. It was like on
we just
vibrate or
kept hearing the
mute.
phone go off.
But the second time, it was like in the middle of selling tickets.
Yeah, and she left.
And she had to end up leaving,
Oh,
which
wow.
respect their relationship and stuff. And
Yeah, they had like a new baby and stuff, and like
Oh, Jesus, though.
Yeah.
just a lot going on.
Yeah,
it's a
that's-
fucking disaster though.
Which is
Yeah.
sad because she was like you could tell, we talk about this, that some people have like a naughty hole. Like it's like a part of them that like they're always going to have. And if they don't have a partner that's into being
They're always going to be doing
naughty
hoe
with them,
stuff.
Yeah.
it's like hard for that person because like they don't feel like fulfilled. And I feel like she was one of those people that like just had the side of her that's like, I need to like express,
Yeah.
to like feel like happy.
Yeah.
And she was like such a great person and like very respectful of like boundaries with us and just did oral in our shows, never
Yeah.
did penetration. I think in her mind she was like, okay, that's okay.
Oh.
But obviously it wasn't okay.
And we never like pressed her to do more because she
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like made it pretty clear that she didn't want to. So
Mm.
we just thought like, oh, it's her boundary. Like we'll just work around that.
Yeah.
But
Of course. Yeah. That's tough. But yeah, I mean,
It
You guys can't be
happens.
responsible for her relationship and the
Yeah.
dynamic, but
Hope she's doing okay. You know?
yeah.
Hope things are good.
I advocate for the honesty and having those tough conversations.
Totally.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It was that night, Jackrabbit, but she wasn't Phoenix's friend. We introduced her to Phoenix Taylor.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that night.
That is rough though.
The most awkward sex scene you've ever done. Oh man.
Ooh. Oh. Are we gonna go there?
I mean,
I'm interested.
Which one?
Which one?
which
Oh,
awkward one?
there's
There's only got to
stories?
be two that I can think of.
I would say probably the most awkward one was
We haven't really told everyone one of the stories I'm thinking of. The two girls that were a couple.
Oh. Okay.
But which one were you
That
thinking
was
of?
I was talking about the girl from Bulgaria, the PhD student.
Yeah.
But the one with the two girls.
That's one of the only times we like told someone that we just didn't want to shoot with them again because they just weren't. She wasn't into women. She started her period in the middle of the shoot. So we were just kind of like, all right, we'll do girl stuff. And she had never been with a girl before. And in the middle of the live stream, she was like, yeah, I didn't really realize this about myself, but I don't like kissing girls. I don't like hooking up with girls. And I was like,
Yeah, but hold
what
up.
do we do?
There's like a backstory before that because when I talked to her about doing it, I told her it was going to be a threesome.
Yeah.
So she knew that over the phone. And she showed up at our house before we got here and it was unlocked for her. And when I came in, she was in our
going
office
through our mail.
reading our mail.
Yeah.
And she was like,
What?
saw his real name and was like, who's so-and-so? I didn't know there's a guy that lives here. And I was like, yeah, remember the threesome we're doing? That's my husband.
The guy was on the phone too.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, so she thought she was coming just for a girl shoot, apparently, even though I told her it was a
Which is
threesome.
like confusing
But
because
then
she said she
didn't
wasn't
want
into
juiced up with
girls.
It was a very strange
Yeah.
situation. I just didn't
So
know how to
after the
handle
one
it.
shoot, we had 3 shoots planned, but after the second one,
Yeah, we were like, I think we're done here.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're done. And she was like, oh, she was like trying to figure out because there's like different kinds of, we all do sex work for different reasons. And I feel like it's important to at least enjoy it somewhat. She was just doing it for the money. And, I started out that way. I just did it for the money starting out because we were just like in a tough spot financially. But I like this shit. I kind of enjoy it
People
sometimes.
can tell too.
Yeah, they can.
they
That's
can
what I'm
just
saying.
tell.
When you're like in it, like, and I can tell you're not into it, it's like a huge turnoff for me, especially after doing it for so long. So
You have some stories of that.
Oh yes, yeah. They just had a real bad one. The long story short, the quote at the end was like, "If I ever want to do that again, I'm just gonna get a piece of beef from Publix and just hump
just
that."
fuck it.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's like that's what it was. It's
Yeah.
just-
I've had a couple of those too. You know, it's yeah, it's an uncomfortable conversation because you don't want to be like, I don't think sex work is right for you, you know. But yeah, have we had sex in public? We did at Lake Tahoe. We had sex on the side of a cliff
We did.
in
Lovely.
the whole
We got
interstate.
spotted when I was giving him head and we had to relocate. The person was like,
Pointing
and
at
I
us.
couldn't like
pointing.
tell if
Yeah.
like it was like
They're
or,
like, look at that bird over there,
Yeah.
or look at that girl sucking his dick. It was definitely the second one though. She was.
it was like,
There wasn't a bird.
That's awesome.
and I was like, is this okay? Are you okay? Is that like a good point or like,
Yeah.
or like
It's always
are
a bad
you-
point when
see
if
you-
you're like a call the cops point or hey
Yeah.
babe check this out because it was a couple.
Yeah, it was a couple.
Do you feel comfortable talking about your worst experience? You don't have to give specifics. You don't have to be like his name was Bob and you know
Maybe what was about it that made it.
smelly people or
Yeah, hygiene's probably amongst the
Yeah.
worst. That's just a bad time for everybody.
it is.
Yeah. I'd have a hard time like singling out a bad time. Most of the time, I can't even think of like too many like bad times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say overall hygiene and or just like a mismatch in characters. Too strong of a word. Just I think personality differences and or the way that you like to have you all have like your process and you think you're gonna be in alignment with people, and then sometimes they're just like way too.
You've described it before as they try to use you as a prop. sometimes.
Yes. Not a fan of that, as you can imagine.
Like, what do
So-
you mean they're like tossing you around or?
Yeah, and that can be fun.
And not like a mutual like, hey, we're fucking.
Yeah.
No.
All right, just stop the camera. All of a sudden, you're like, what the fuck, dude? And now I want you over here like this. You're
Yeah, or like, you know, like.
Yeah, because
Wow.
people
I see.
people shoot one of two ways. There's the people that shoot in like cuts, or there's people that kind of like go with the flow kind of thing, and then
Yeah.
you just kind of drag the camera, and you're like, let's try this. you know?
Exactly.
And in theory, nothing wrong with the cuts, but just go, hey, this is my process.
Oh yeah,
All right, we're good.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
all of a sudden, you start like telling her what to do, and you're kind of like,
yeah.
and it's a little weird too, because you know, it's typically with like an OnlyFans collab, and it's kind of like they're telling us what to do, and you're like one of us is Bryce, the other one isn't. Like, you know,
So you run into that. But yeah, so just I guess more or less that kind of can be a hard time because then you're almost in this weird situation where like, well, we've made these plans and we've kind of mutually agreed to do this fun thing, and like I'm not having fun. So it's
Yeah.
like, what can I rally around?
We've probably
Yeah,
just
I
had a
get
ton
what
of
you're
like 4 out of 10s. We haven't had too
That
many
was true.
zeros. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
true.
like, that kind of sucked. Nothing other than the one chick that came down from Michigan
That
and
sucked.
freaked out.
That
but
sucked.
that was the one, and it wasn't. I'd still only say it was like a 2 out of 10.
A 2 out of 10. But
We've-
yeah.
Kind of freak out.
We've had 3 like terrible, or we've had one girl freak out. That was at the very beginning of our career.
The girl
Freak
that
out.
was a lesbian?
No, she didn't freak out.
Oh.
She was just like, I'm gay, and I don't.
Oh, the girl that the person, the Amazon guy knocked on the door and
Yeah.
started putting her clothes on. 'Cause
Yeah, she thought it was the
cops.
she thought it was the
She
police,
was like
Jeez.
19
and I was like,
really
"You're not doing
young.
anything illegal."
Is everything okay? And I'm like, girl, you're good.
Yeah.
We're like, you don't have to be doing this. Like, you don't, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was genuinely enjoying herself. She was.
was.
She was just so afraid of letting her parents down. I
Yeah.
think.
She was Asian, and not to stereotype, but I think her parents were like very.
Yeah, she was
traditional.
Japanese, and so she was like,
Yeah.
my parents are so strict. If they ever found out I was doing sex work, they would like disown me. And I was like, that my mom would like make fun of me, I think. Like, my dad would be pissed, but he's like a total boomer, and that's just a
Yeah.
generational thing.
I think a lot of us get like, well, I'll speak for myself and say a lot of us, but I think a lot of us invent it and make it into a bigger thing that ends
Yeah.
up being a lot of the time. It's like
Yeah.
our own fears get in our own way. Because then you like tell them, and you're like, oh, okay, well, that was nothing. Like,
They're
cool.
stuck with us, just like we're stuck with them.
That's true.
And if they're
That's
not, then they're
true.
not your people anyway. So then move
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
You
I get
know?
what you're saying.
If I could get my mom to sue me from sex work, I would have done it years ago. Aw.
And then we've had 2 girls get in a fist fight in our home.
Couple.
Come on.
They were supposed to get married in Vegas while visiting us,
That's where we
Wow,
are.
visiting. Oof.
and it
And-
didn't go so well.
It didn't. They got in a fist fight.
What was
Yeah.
the fist fight over? Like literally the
Do
stream?
we want to go? Oh no, not on the stream. It was after the first stream we did with them.
Which actually went really well.
Yeah.
The stream went great.
We haven't told anyone the story.
We haven't.
We haven't told our fans the story.
Yeah.
It was one of those days where they're like, "Where's Jack and Jill? It's Sunday," and they're just not getting on. They haven't tweeted. They haven't said anything. Where are they at? You know.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we just punched her in the face, and
They
she deserved it though.
They drank a little too much, went out on the strip, and got in
Yeah.
a really bad fight. And I got a call at 2 a.m. with one of the girls crying, being like, so and so's taken off, and they're, I don't know, should I say this?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. She had done
Fuck it,
something.
do it. Just
Okay,
say it.
She was like,
She was cutting herself.
Oh no.
But it
Yeah.
was like super
Superficial wounds.
attention.
Yeah,
Sure.
Well,
She wants-
because-
she's done it before.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she got back to our house. She took an Uber back here, and like immediately, like I looked at her arm to like, because she called us and was like, so and so's cutting herself. Like she got back to our house. And I realized they weren't deep cuts or anything.
Yeah.
But she had, when she bled, she was smearing it all over herself to make it like super dramatic.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't really want to go there.
Yeah.
And we had to like, he had to go like to her room and like collect like all the sharps and stuff.
Yeah,
just to
I was
make
just
sure
like, do
she's
you have anything
safe.
sharp in your
And-
room? Do you have any like prescription medication? And this is, you guys, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to us in our career.
Yeah.
So this isn't like a normal thing. This is literally our only 0 out of 10 to use
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. That is
But the one girl, before she got punched, she looked at her partner. She said, "I'm gonna kill myself, and it's gonna be all your fault."
oh, that's
And she just goes,
And the girl goes,
punched her in the face. Yeah. And so I let them fight a little bit for 10 seconds.
they didn't talk for a day, and then on the last day they made up, and then they like wanted to live stream, and we were like, no,
Yeah.
we're just not gonna do that.
Live stream with the ace bandage all around her forehead.
Right.
Yeah,
Super
so-
weird, man. So we didn't go
Yeah.
there.
And we were like, are you sure you guys want to get married?
yeah. Oh
You
my
know?
god,
But yeah, it was something.
that's incredible. Well, I'm sorry you guys had to go through that.
Yeah, I
is
mean-
not standard.
Yeah, no,
Well, you
that's
know,
our
when
worst
people are
story.
staying with you, sometimes things can happen. You know, when you're hosting people in your home and stuff.
yeah.
But most of the time, it's great. And we just end up eating food and chatting with people and having great
Yeah.
conversation.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did I stop my corporate job when Jill and I decided to do this? No, I did this on top of it for 5 years. And then it was like terrifying. I would go to conferences and I would be like, someone's in here seen me masturbate. Like, yeah, we've been talking for 45
we gotta go
minutes.
to the other room and
so
start doing.
I think I'm going to hang up the headset and get everything started over there.
We kind of ended on a dark note.
Yeah, we ended on a dark note, but there were highs, there were lows. But I'm gonna hang up the headset here. You guys just chill for a second, and I'll flag you down and tell you when to
Okay,
change.
sounds good.
Fantastic.
Oh my god, it's so much different talking without the headset on.
Oh yeah.
Y'all need a bouncer. It's funny.
There you go. Who's the pretty lady? It's
So
Jill, obviously.
they can still hear you guys.
Yes.
Still hear you too.
Mhm.
Okay.
Here we
Yeah.
are.
If you like, you see the little green bar moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's our volume.
Gotcha.
They're on OBS.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Instead of plant room. Hi,
Have you ever had
everybody.
a guy try to do more? Like, have you? I guess maybe someone that didn't respect boundaries or something.
The landscaper was a little forceful.
Oh,
She got
yeah.
with the landscaper.
I did. I got with the landscape. I forgot about
No,
that.
like surprise anal or anything like that, right?
No.
You know, just sticking it wherever.
No,
Just
just
spit in your mouth. Surprising.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Are you into that?
Normally, it just
Okay.
like I like to be in the know,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
of
will.
course.
And it was just like, oh, like okay. And then it was like, well, easy, pal. Like, let's go at my fucking speed, not your speed. And he was still like bulldozing at his speed. And then we had a little bit of a language barrier too. So we were working on that a little bit.
Oh, got it.
So that
What-
was interesting.
So English wasn't his first language.
Not at all. He was still learning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there was lots of Google Translator like on the phone, like in real time, and I'm like, no, like this. They're like, trying to figure it out.
She did, but that's not my fan. Like,
It didn't play out the way I assumed she wants it to.
so I do have like a fantasy. Yeah, but it's more like
Oh.
we're going off nonverbals and like really paying attention to
Oh.
each other, and like we don't speak each other's language.
That's kind of
So-
fun. I like the premise.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's why it's a fantasy, right?
Yeah. Till it comes true.
Yeah, right. But I haven't had a guy do more because we always talk about, we mute it before we go into the show and we're like, okay, this is what we're doing. Is everyone good with this?
Yeah.
And we do like, even where the cum goes, we have a poll and we pre-discuss like, where do you want the cum to go? What are you okay
Nice.
with?
Okay.
So things usually don't go, awry when we're live streaming because we like discuss it all beforehand. And
Yeah.
I've never had a guy like do anything that I was not okay with.
yeah.
All the guys that we work with, I've been pretty happy with. Can't complain.
That's awesome. Yeah. I can't think of anybody who went off script.
We don't really have scripts, just to be clear.
No, I don't. I'm using that as a
Yeah, just making sure
term.
you don't-
Yes, thank you.
don't
Not
do
further
scripted
confusion.
things,
I don't
yeah.
script things, but I'm saying like as far
What
as
are you
like
saying?
hey, like don't green by me.
Like
And
on the
then,
agenda.
Exactly.
Yeah,
On the
yeah.
agenda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Otherwise it's totally like free form and
Like break a rule.
yeah, exactly. So one thing you have always wanted to do sexually that you haven't yet. I haven't done gangbang. That
Okay.
sounds fun.
How many guys is a gangbang to you?
Yeah, good question.
Just curious.
Well, The gangbang's all at once because we talked about the train aspect, and like I always say like 7-person train, right? And I've done 4, and like by the time I'm on the 4th one, I'm like
4 is a lot.
yeah, you're like okay, I'm kind of cooked, like
Yeah.
So
especially if 1 or 2 takes, sometimes you'll have like 2 will do perfect, and then like 2 will take 20 minutes.
Yeah.
each
That's
to
what I was gonna
finish.
say.
Yeah.
it's all of a sudden
Did
you're
they all come on your face around this, or did they come on your face?
so the last one, yes, I did a facial train. That's what we called it.
So
it
were
was
you
everyone-
waiting for a while with just like come on your face?
Yeah, well, I ate like half of it. I'm a big
Okay.
cum eater, so it was like on me and like in me, and then it was like the next one came in. Yeah, it's
That
just
was the premise of the video too. Was
That
like,
was.
facial trains.
Yeah.
Okay.
She would like kind of leave it or whatever.
I guess you have to have like not too much like expectations for it. Like I'm just picturing
Yeah.
like waiting, like glazed
Yeah.
donut, just waiting, and it's like drying.
5 people is when it becomes an orgy / gangbang. if
okay.
it's-
5.
Well, because it would just be a 4-way. It would just be called a 4. I don't know.
Okay.
But if it's 4 guys,
That's just
and her-
semantics. I
There's
don't
like
know.
4 guys and me. It's definitely
That's a
That's a
gangbang.
gangbang.
I
Okay.
think so.
all right. That
I
seems
think
like a
so.
But all
healthy
at once.
threshold.
I don't know. I'm just making this up as I go. All right, you guys. I think we're gonna change rooms now.
Let's do it.
We're good. The stream is gonna stop for about a minute or 2. You guys don't go anywhere. It'll turn back on. We'll be in a different room. Just be patient. This is the naughty part.